Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. You're now tuning in live to Crisis King, broadcasting from the Vision Channel. And today we're here talking about the spirit of rejection. Yes, we're talking about rejection. This is a near and dear topic to me of discussion because this is something that I have suffered from. This is something that I've gone through. And I know when it comes to Apostle, he's very familiar with it as well. So I believe that today, this afternoon will be a great afternoon. It will be one that will be life changing if you allow the Spirit of the Lord to come in and actually minister this thing to you. Because I believe that is something that we need in this time and this hour to understand that just because the door was closed by man does not mean that that door was closed by God. Understand that a lot of times when you're faced with rejection, it's only because you have been chosen for it. Not only chosen, but you have been sent to carry out the manifestation and the fulfillment of God's assignment in this earth. So, how are you doing this afternoon, Apostle?
I think I'm doing okay.
Yes, sir. Same here. I'm super excited, like I said, about talking about rejection today. And we're just elaborating a little bit about rejection prior to the broadcasting coming on. But when it comes to this particular topic, I know that this can be in every form and every facet of life, especially when you have been in a place to where you have love, where you have placed your heart out there. A lot of times it starts, I want to start from a place of generationally 1st, because a lot of times you are rejected first in your very family. A lot of times the people that you seek to please, those that you desire and you want to love you and to care about you, and you look for them to be those that back you up, are the ones that allow this spirit to come in and cause you to be turned away, but not understanding this is where God makes a way for you in order to fulfill this assignment. So in talking about the spirit of rejection, I want to start with the generation. How was it, or how does it come about that this door is open, and what's the intent and the meaning behind it whenever this approaches you as a child a lot of times?
I'll say this. I think one of the challenges that we have, because the enemy understands your destiny, your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
He understands that he understands by those that are being chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying my best to explain it in such a way that family become one of God's hindrances
Mm-hmm.
because um, we grew up.
Familiar.
We grew up with our family. We're familiar with our family, and pretty much all we know is our family. We know our mother.
Yes,
We
sir.
know our brothers. We know our sisters. We know our
Mm-hmm.
cousins. We know our brothers. We know our uncles. We
Mm-hmm.
know our aunts. So we're familiar with family.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, what hurt people more than anything
Mm-hmm.
is family
Mm-hmm.
can be sometimes executors
Mm-hmm.
of future
That's true.
because they're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And all throughout scriptures, I'm going to probably bring out a couple of scriptures today to try to show people
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes
Mm-hmm.
your family, and it hurts sometimes for family to reject you. And I think that some people leave it to their family, but not their faith.
That's true. They got to mix up.
It's
That's so
faith
mixed
that
up.
sometimes that will override
Mm-hmm.
who we call family.
Yes, sir.
Because some people in our family has never received salvation. They have never received Christ.
Yep.
And I think we have people that go to church but never have become the church, and that's one of our greatest issues. But family ridicule you,
Mm-hmm.
family ostracize you,
Yes, sir.
family criticize you because they see God on you.
Yes, sir.
They see God working in you.
That's true.
They see God moving with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that has become one of the greatest challenges that we have. Jesus would make a statement.
He came with his own, they knew him not.
Jesus said, I came to my own, but they knew me not. And this is one sign
Mm-hmm.
that you know that something has changed in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That when you change,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like your change
Nope.
and they want you to remain the same.
Because they lose control.
So when Jesus said, I came to my own and they knew me not, which means he grew up with them.
Yep.
He grew up with his brothers because Jesus had brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up with them. But when you grow up with people, but outgrow them,
Mm-hmm.
you outgrow them spiritually while they remain the same naturally.
Yep.
So you lose your identity. So the old person, they call you Little Snoopy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you used to watch Snoopy, so we used to call you Little Snoopy.
Yep.
So we're calling you old names
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't fit where you go. It's just like, I'll say this. If you had clothes when you was in elementary
Mm-hmm.
and you in college,
Yep.
you can't back go to the same clothes.
Mm-mm.
You've outgrown them. And there are some people that the enemy will still look at you and view you by how you used to be when you was in elementary.
Come on.
But it should be elementary to you
Come on.
that you've outgrown the people that you think adults but still in school. Right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying this, Jesus said, I came to my own, but they knew me not. He also would make the statement, a prophet is without honor in his own house or
Yes, sir.
family. House represents generations, which means you are without honor. There won't be any respect or honor because of your generation or your bloodline. They won't. Once you've outgrown the family, you've outgrown them.
Yep.
You've outgrown them spiritually, because now, see, this is when you lose your identity.
Yep.
Now they're in an identity crisis because you found your true identity. Jesus also would make the statement and say, he said that when it comes to family,
Who is?
he said, who is my mother and my brother?
That's true.
He said, those
Do the will.
that do the will. There are some people that are quoting the will,
They're not
but
doing
not
it.
functioning in the will. So Jesus says, when you are born again, even your family change.
Come on.
Now, so this is where you'll find in the pattern of your bloodline, when you've changed, you're going to see where people remain the same. And the first sign that you've changed is rejection.
Come on.
The first sign is some type of adversity. There's some type of challenge. You're going to find where they're going to ridicule you of your entire life because people are used to seeing you where you used to be, not who you have become to be.
Come on.
And they're going to reject you. They're going to criticize you. They're going to ridicule you. And they're going to ostracize you because they can identify the old you.
Come on.
The old man has died, but the new man lives. So the first sign of change is not you going to church. The first sign of change is established through rejection. When they start rejecting you when they used to love you, it's the first sign
Come on.
that you've changed. So when they say they knew me not, people are not going to know this knew you.
Yep.
So that's why they ridicule you. And this is why they reject you, because they do not know and understand the real you from this moment. So rejection ain't a bad thing.
Come on.
It's a good thing that when you can change and people see your change, but they're still looking for the old you.
You know, it's amazing how you put everything together, Apostle, of course, by the Spirit of the Lord. This is the Spirit of the Lord, of course. But in speaking about that, it's really like a seed that God plants there. And he waits on this seed to grow and to come into the full manifestation of what he desires. He waits on it to see it mature so that it can spring forth. And a lot of times in this process of this transition, whenever you're faced with rejection, it can either cause you to go deeper and not sprout forth or go forth. It's like the crab in the bucket mentality. No one wants to see anyone come out of it because of certain things that have transpired and taken place within an individual's life. Before we get, because I do want to express the doors, because it does all tie in together. But before we get to that point, still talking about this particular topic, express I don't want to call it a dimension of rejection that David had to be faced with, but elaborate on that place that he was in that really brought him to be probably, if not one of the greatest kings, aside from the mistakes and different things that happened in his life, but to be the one where Jesus sat on his throne. Express that and elaborate on that for those that are tuned in.
I think one of the challenges, when you see David, we see David as the person who defeated Goliath. Right? But that was a battle that he had before Goliath. Yeah. Goliath, even though Goliath was a giant, he was a part of the bloodline of the Nephilim.
Yes, sir.
Yes. He had to deal with the bloodline of the Nephilim, where God rejected that bloodline in Genesis chapter 6, and God wiped out all that. He had to deal with that rejection. But the battle and the giant that was in his own family was greater than Goliath.
Jesus, come.
It was greater than Goliath because there was no one in David's family or household at that time that was anointed by God.
Jesus.
He's the first. When you become the first, you have to deal with the opposition first.
Come on.
You have to deal with the trials first. You have to deal with how your family are going to treat you first with the anointing. The Bible said that God would tell Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 16, why are you crying over who I rejected?
Come on.
There are points and times to where God can reject you based on the things that you have done to you.
Come on.
You've done this, and I'm saying this. Samuel leaves the rejected by God, not rejected by family. Saul's family didn't reject him, God did. David's family rejected him, but in sometimes rejection is God's selection. Right.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's in that David was the last. Now you know what scriptures tell us. And the last shall be first, and the first shall be last, right?
Yep.
So here is God
Gotcha.
selecting the person that was last. Watch. Because he outlasted rejection. He outlasted his family. Woo. I'm going to say, woo. He outlasted his family.
Yes, sir.
He outlasted being ridiculed. He outlasted being rejected because, wait a minute, the only thing that I want to serve is God.
Come on, that's it.
Listen, I want you to hear this. But I know people don't get a great picture of David in his life and what he was doing. Right. It's amazing that his brothers, they were objective to listen to David's advice.
Come on.
Which means they didn't even like his voice. His fault. So when he went to fight Goliath, he came to the battle. I want to show you how just an aspect of David's life. His brother said, "Why have you come? We know you're not in this. You came to see the fight." Right?
Yep.
Now his brothers is ridiculing him in front of an entire army.
Come on.
But David remained in humility. He remained humble. Even being humiliated, humiliation was still there.
Come on.
Being humiliated. Humility was there in humiliation by his own bloodline in front of an entire army.
Jesus.
His father wouldn't even come or even say that he had another child until Samuel asked first. He'll tell you what his father thought about it. Watch this. Isn't it crazy? They would never adhere to his voice, but somebody that don't even know human voices would adhere to it. How is it that the sheep would listen to David, and David was just a kid, but how does a kid become a shepherd? So God would give him a king's anointing as a kid and have the sheep. Now just hear me, please hear me. As I say, I don't know how deep I can go.
What's the kingdom? Go ahead. What's the kingdom?
God would anoint David like he did Adam.
Jesus.
That when the sheep would come to him, the sheep had to come to Adam.
Jesus.
The sheep had to come to Noah. The sheep came to Adam so he would name them.
Come on.
So the sheep would know Adam's voice. And God would anoint David through rejection so the sheep can now follow him.
Come on.
The sheep would now know him.
Yes, Lord.
They wouldn't answer somebody that didn't know their voice. And Jesus would come back to express in the New Testament, my sheep know my voice and the strength. How is it that now you can tap into the ear gates of a sheep to where now the sheep would follow when even my parents and my brothers would listen?
Come on.
How is it that David would know how he was fashioned? I was shaped in sin. I was born in sin, but yet I was shaped in iniquity. So even with iniquity and being shaped in sin, yes, couldn't silence who God chose.
Come on.
Yes, because when people, let me slow down. When people are rejected by family, then God looks at you as his friends.
Come on.
Watch this. How is it that God said, go and find me a man? Watch this. Please hear me. I think that we think, as Samuel would think, that Eliab, because Eliab was older, more broader, he had the stature. He was the first. He can, watch this, please hear this. He can carry the inheritance of his natural father.
Come on.
But he could never carry the inheritance of the spiritual father.
Come on.
He never qualified. Watch. Because the validation of being one that's chosen by God or being a man, God said, I found me a man. We wouldn't know the identification of what a man is because we would only think from a biological standpoint.
Yep. That's true.
We would think because of age and he has to have this ability to produce children and, you know, we validate, provide. So we think about validation that way based on how the world has put this criteria in. But Paul said that even though, it said, Paul said, I became a man.
Come on.
He said, when I spake as a man, I understood as a man, I thought as a man. Paul validated this by saying he was a man. He said, now look, when I put all these little childish, he said, when I put the childish things away, he said, now this is what brought transformation to me. My validation is my speaking, my understanding, and my thinking.
Yep.
So the kingdom looks at this as a man. Yes, not stature, not age, but three areas. So we see when God said, Samuel, go and find me a man. Samuel was confused because David was still a kid.
Jesus, come on.
But David knew how to protect his mind.
Come on.
He knew how to protect his heart. And David knew how to speak. David knew that, so God validated David as a man, as a kid, and he gave him a king's anointing.
Come on.
As a kid, because David, in humiliation, knew how to stay in humility.
Jesus.
Knew how to watch, and the sheep would follow him. How is it that you can train the sheep to know your voice when your own parents don't know it?
Come on.
It was through the rejecting of them that brought isolation to him.
Yep.
Watch this. And some people, family make you feel worse. Family, 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 family. Some families are designed to destroy future. Watch this. Hear what I'm saying? They're not knowing. Watch this. David is rejected by family, by father, but didn't know he was loved by God. The name David itself means beloved. Do you know that God would have the same speech?
He came down to Jesus. John 3:16.
This is my beloved son, and who I'm well pleased. David would walk around with the language that God would express in earth about his son, because David was also his son.
Jesus.
They were both beloved. And because he was beloved, it's crazy that they would name him beloved and he wasn't loved. He wasn't loved by God. He wasn't loved by his family, but he was loved by God. And God, sometimes, watch this, rejection is protection.
Jesus, it is.
Yes, sometimes God will isolate you to insulate you away from family.
Yep.
Yes, he will equip you.
Jesus.
Yes, outside of your family. Watch, when your family rejects you, it's the sign that he's getting ready to equip you. And most people don't know that they are being equipped through being rejected, through being not selected. Watch this, please, for me. But do you know? I want you to see this. That everyone that rejected him, that didn't select him, that when they were having their festivities, Samuel said, I want you to see this now. He said that no one could sit down until you bring the one that's rejected.
Jesus.
And to the one that you never considered. Yes. And to the one that you never called.
Wow.
Samuel said, do you have another son? He said, yes, but he's in the field. How is it that you are forgotten, but God remembers? It's in the place that sometimes family can forget you, but God, that's the place where God knew where to find you.
Jesus.
He remembers you. Woo, woof, woof. In the place where people have forgotten you, God knew exactly where to find you. He remembers you.
Jesus.
Go and get the one that's in the field. He comes into the, now watch this, just hear me. Now, and I'm trying my best. Do you know Samuel had his horn of oil? I'm going to show you how particular God is. They rejected David. But when they would pass before Samuel, it's crazy that the horn of oil had oil in it.
Yep, but it wouldn't come out.
But it wouldn't come down.
Jesus.
How was it that gravity and the turning of the horn won't release the oil?
My Lord.
God sustained the oil because he rejected every generation with the exception of David. There were seven of David's brothers. 7 is the number of completion. God said, I'm completing this because this oil doesn't belong to those 7.
Come on. We're going to hold it till we get to that last.
I'm going to sustain this oil until we get to number 8.
Jesus.
The new beginning in this family, in this generation, is going to start with somebody who's been rejected.
Jesus.
It's going to start with somebody who's been isolated.
Jesus.
It's going to start with somebody who I consider to be a man.
Come on.
I can trust this kid as a king because he's been rejected. And sometimes God will bring the king out of you or the queen out of you. It's only when you reject it.
Very much so.
When the Bible said that we are kings and priests, the king or the priest can't come out into rejection.
Come on.
Sometimes it takes everyone to reject you for God to say, this is where I'm getting ready to take you. It wasn't until there was a separation that was elevation. Separation brings elevation. Now let me elevate you in the area where people have criticized you.
Yes, Lord.
They would bring them before David. And God has a sense of humor.
Very much so.
See, God has a sense of humor for humiliation. Watch the sense of humor. That all 7 who walked before Samuel 7 times now get to see that the person you rejected, now who God selected. Now watch this. You get to see now who God has rejected.
Come on. Come on.
God was showing David, look who I rejected. I rejected Eliab. I rejected all of your older brothers. I rejected everyone in this bloodline with the exception of you. So this is why people had an issue with David.
Come on.
Yes. That David didn't watch it. He didn't allow himself or his heart to get infected. Yes.
Come on.
God protected it. And through your transition of rejection, you have to learn to guard your heart.
Yes,
guard your heart with all diligence because out of it flows the issues of life. And some of those issues is within your family, within your own genre, within your own bloodline.
Jesus.
It's with them. And God, if you learn to protect your heart and protect your mind, that the enemy thought that he can transform David by rejecting him. Because that what a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
Come on.
So David remained who he was because he protected his heart and his mind. And he stayed in alignment with God. God said, I found him. And here, not even Samuel himself, which one of the greatest prophets in scripture, that no word fell to the ground, almost failed at assignment because somebody who's rejected.
Jesus. I'm going to go back to when you were expressing about how David's name means beloved, and God, whenever he was baptized, when Jesus was getting baptized by John, he opened up the heavens, and then that's when the validation of Jesus came. That's when his ministry started right after that. That's when he was driven out or taken into the wilderness or led into the wilderness by the Spirit of God. And when it comes to rejections, a lot of times we don't know what heaven has already said about us because we're looking to the validation of the older brother, the older sister, the mother, those that have come before you. And we tend to look at people, and it's not even just being, because it could be the oldest that's the rejected. It could be the youngest. It doesn't matter the age group. It can be, they call them the black sheep. Not understanding that you're looking like you're different, but you would always say that you'd be like, you looking at everybody else is looking at you like you're different. But they're all the same. Everybody's functioning from the same place, and God uses you to be the one to bring that enlightenment to the generation. You also spoke about how they could not sit until David came. Sitting is oftentimes a representation of rest. So a lot of times your family is going through, or the generation that God has called you to is going through what they're going through because God is waiting for you to get into place where you need to be so that they can find rest. A lot of times it's not just about, and we look at things so one-sided because rejection can bring you to a place of being selfish in your own mindset because you can't allow your heart to become soil. You can't allow different things to come into your heart and affect and pollute your heart because of what you have dealt with and what people have spoken about you or them not receiving you. And even in this, and I'll say this lastly, and then we'll get into the next question. You spoke about how God withheld the oil. He was patient. We don't understand what it looks like when God is being patient with us in order for us to be lifted up, so that in him lifting us up or exalting us, his lifting comes because then all men can be drawn. So with that being expressed, express the importance of the patience of God that's utilized to get you in place in order for you to fulfill your assignment on earth so that he can find rest.
One of the things that, and I know, it goes back to How society has made everything, we have to do everything so quick. Everything is antiquated now. So even with phones, if we get a new phone, they have a greater or higher speed. We get computers, they got a higher speed, higher megabytes. Everything is about speed, speed, speed. Society says everything is about speed, even cars. But with God, He doesn't associate speed like we do.
No.
It's never associated. In Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, God shows us how speed works. And He says, those that wait upon the Lord
shall renew.
He shall renew, or they shall renew their strength, right? They shall mount up as wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Watch this, please. It said, in order to fulfill this, the assignment is wait, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not you waiting on anything else with the exception of the Lord. It's waiting on Him to come. Waiting on God to come is where we get speed from. It's where we get acceleration from. It's where God can catapult us way beyond anybody in their dimension or anybody else. Like I said, Elab was David's oldest brothers. But how did he receive God's inheritance first?
Jesus.
He had superseded what they had set up for the earth as inheritance. He had bypassed his oldest brothers. And now he's taken the inheritance of the kingdom of God. Now, because something took place with patience. James said, let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. But it's only through patience that we see it. It's only through waiting on God that we see it. So I know how much you love me through your patience. Love is patient. Love is kind. And sometimes God will show you how much He loves you by His patience. By you waiting on Him. And this is how God knows you love Him. Can you wait for me? Can you wait until I come? One of the prerequisites that God told Saul. Samuel said, wait until I come. Saul could not wait until Samuel would show up. So he would make sacrifices himself. It was one of his downfalls because he didn't have patience to wait on the Lord. And a lot of times we jump out. And I think about, just say for instance, if you're in the Olympics. Okay. If you're in the Olympics come 4 years in a row. Every 4 years the Olympics come, right?
Yes, sir.
And when the Olympics come, you train, right? You do all this training for only, if you're running 100 meters, right? 100-yard dash. You mean to tell me, you only train, I want you to hear this. You train for 10 seconds.
Jesus.
You train to prepare for 10 seconds or 11 seconds. So this is how fast people are going to run in the Olympics in a 100-yard dash. 9, 10, or 11 seconds. You train for 4 years.
For that.
For 10, 9, 10, or 11 seconds. 4 years you would train. For 10 seconds. Watch this. But if you get there and don't have patience.
Jesus.
And and before the gun is released, there's a false start.
Come on.
Because you didn't have patience, not for the gun, but to hear the sound. You are disqualified. You disqualified yourself for 4 years because you didn't have the patience to be able to wait. There are some people that God is getting ready to release, but they are trying to move before the sound. Before God ever releases a sound, there's a sound that is released with heaven. When He would speak in the beginning, a sound would catapult throughout the entire earth. Let there be light. That was a sound. So when it was concerning the life of Elisha, He said there's a sound of the abundance of rain. Heaven releases a sound. Have you released yourself before the sound?
Jesus.
Because you couldn't wait for the sound to go. Go into all the world and teach and preach the gospel. Could it be that you released yourself and you didn't hear the sound because you couldn't wait on God?
Jesus.
Is your training in vain? Because you didn't have patience to wait. Let me go back to these sheep thing, because you said the black sheep. Black sheep. So people disqualify you because of your color.
Come on.
They say your sheep, you are a black sheep. So all the white sheeps reject the black sheep. Right? All the white sheeps are rejecting the black sheep because of the color, but forget the content of who you are.
Come on.
Is still a sheep, but you're just black.
Jesus.
Watch it. This is what I love about it. You know what Jesus said? If there's 100 sheep,
He's gonna leave.
He's gonna leave
99.
99 of them to come to the one who's rejected.
Come on. That's true.
And the Bible said when He finds that sheep, He places that sheep
Come
on His shoulders.
Come on.
What does the shoulders represent?
Government should rest upon His shoulders.
He said, and the government
Come on.
shall be in the place of His strength.
Come on.
His shoulders. And the key of the house of David shall be upon His shoulders. He takes the one that is rejected, puts that one on His shoulders.
Come on.
And bring them before the 99.
Jesus.
To show them. Since you rejected Him,
come on,
I found Him.
Come on.
He finds those that are
Jesus.
rejected. Yeah. He finds those that are rejected. Jesus. And then where He places us, we're above them. We get elevation by being on His shoulders. We get strength, but we also get the place where He placed the kingdom and the keys. They are both on His shoulders. So it's in rejection when we learn to wait. Watch. If you learn how to wait, you won't have to deal with the wait. If we learn how to W-A-I-T, you won't have to deal with the W-E-I-G-H-T. You won't have to deal with the wait when you learn how to wait. When you're patient for Him. Love is patient. Love is kind. So you can still be kind even though you're waiting.
Yep.
You can still show love even though you're waiting. Why? Because that's an expression of love. Love is patient. Watch this.
Lord.
And sometimes we forget, how long did God wait on you?
Come on.
How long did He wait on you to come to Him? How long did He wait? He was watching you in sin, but He was still waiting.
Come on.
How is that He's watching you in sin, but still waiting on you to come to Him? He was patient for you. So we can't be patient for Him? He was showing His love to where He wouldn't judge you, that He wouldn't send you to hell. He was showing you why He was waiting on you.
Come on.
Why? So that He can exchange your weight, W-E-I-G-H, that you were carrying, that the world gave you, so He can exchange it for W-I-T-A. W-A-I-T. So you can wait. Watch. Here's my thing. Because in that word wait, the last two letters is it. Can you do it? Can you wait? Can you do it? Can you wait?
Come on.
Are you good at it? Are you good at waiting? Yes. If you are good at waiting, there's a scripture, I think in John chapter 16, verse 23, where Jesus made a statement. He said, listen, hitherto you have asked nothing in my name. Whatsoever you ask the Father, He will give it you. It.
You.
He will give it.
You.
Yeah, He will give it you. Yeah. Ask, and verily I say unto you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, He will give it.
You.
It. You. Yeah. Not you it. But I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. Whatever it is that you're desiring. Yes, whatever it is that you're desiring, I'm going to give it to you, not you to it.
Come on.
I'm going to make sure it show up if you're patient.
Come on.
I'm going to make sure it show up if you wait. I'm going to make whatever it is that you need, I'm going to give it you. But it's according to your patience. Okay.
That in it, just looking at that, that's something. A lot of times we don't understand what it is when God sends you or if He chooses you to go. Isaiah chapter 6. At the end of the day, it's a lot. Many are called, but few are chosen. God has an intention. Well, whatever He sends out, it has a place to go. It goes out with intent. And a lot of times, Can I get into it? Okay, get into ejection.
Okay.
It brought clarity in this moment about the ejection part. A lot of times it may seem like people are driving you out, but God is literally ejecting you from a situation in order for you to go out. So it's with intent that at a certain time, at a certain place, that God will push you out. He will cause you to be put out in order to push you out or to bring you to the place that He desires for you to be. But when we're going through the rejection, when we're faced with all these different things, you'll start to look at the people, you'll start to look at the places and the things and think that it was them that did you wrong, when in all actuality, God was setting you up for the greatest success of your life. That goes into the place of the mind and how we think about certain situations, because the enemy's intent is for you to become carnal in that moment, for you to take on an identity that's not really you. So you'll start to function from a place of rebellion, as opposed to, because of this door of rejection, you'll start to function from a place of rebellion as opposed to function from a place of being successful, or looking at it like, okay, God has selected me in this time, in this hour, in order to fulfill my assignment. And I think sometimes that's something that is often missed. When I was being rejected in my own life, I did not understand what that meant. I just thought nobody liked me. I thought I had to do something, and I found myself trying to please man as opposed to being pleasing to God, because I was walking from places like, okay, well, maybe they don't like it when I do this. Let me do this. Maybe they don't like it when I say that. Let me do this. You try to change your appearance. You try to change everything about your outer self, not understanding God is not looking for you to change the outer. He's looking to change your inner so that you can become what is needed in this time, in this hour, in order to fulfill your God-given assignment. A lot of times going back into family, not just family, it's anyone that you love, anyone that you have a heart for, anyone that you look up to. A lot of times it's not about you transforming for them. It's about God transforming you so that the assignment can be fulfilled, so that they can be transformed too. But you'll start to look at it and become what the world wants you to be, as opposed to what the kingdom has already spoken about you. Going back into Jesus being baptized, the validation came. Jesus was on this earth all this time, 30 years he was walking around the earth. People looking at him, they're making, okay, that's Joseph's little boy. That's Mary's son. They're identifying you by the people that you're connected to. And then God allows you to be baptized, to come new, to be created new. And then He opens up the heaven and validates you for what He said about you all along. And then that's when you start to walk in the fulfillment of what He has desired and created for you to do. And that's something that we often miss because we don't understand it. And that's my biggest thing when it comes to today, is bringing that clarity that needs to be gotten, so that people can understand that your identity does not come from this world. Your identity does not come from the name that your parents had given you. And I want to talk about that too, about the names that you're given, because you said it, how they'll say you little, what you said before?
Little Snoopy.
Little Snoopy, because y'all used to watch Snoopy. Always watching the kids. And you become that, but that's not what God has spoken about you. That's not what God has said. So I want to get into the name calling. That's what I'll call it. I want to get into how important it is not to walk or become the name that you've been given, not understanding that God in heaven has already given you a different name.
I mean, when you talk about it, I think about some names were associated with some seasons that you were a part of. So they labeled you that. You were labeled by a season that you were a part of, and they gave you a name. Like one of the rappers that we had in our area, his name was Snoop Dogg. Like,
That's true.
So two different names, Snoop and then Dogg. That's not his real name. But he would take on a name that somebody else would give him when he was in the game.
Jesus.
And you would still see him throwing up gang signs, and they call it crip walking and dancing and all that. What he was still representing. So he cannot get past the curse that somebody gave him. Even his success can't stop it.
Jesus.
And he's still using and validating the name
Today.
Now, when you look at it biblically, I'll go back to a name that he was never called in heaven, Jacob. That his parents would name him Jacob, heel grabber, supplanter, deceiver, liar. They would name him this, and he would struggle his entire life until the name was changed.
Jesus.
Some people are only struggling because the name that somebody gave them, that their name Alizé, their name Hennessy, they're going to struggle with the names that some people give, not knowing that word curses are associated with some names that you give. You don't hear nobody naming their daughter Jezebel.
No.
How many Judases have you found? Yes. Why? because people are now conscious of those particular names. So they know spirits are associated with these type of names. So you won't find Jezebel only in scripture.
Yep. That's true.
Because they know what's associated behind the name. Whatever name you give them, you're going to draw a spirit.
Yep.
Spirits are drawn to names. Spirits create names. So they make sure that a spirit is drawn to whatever name that you give them. So if you give somebody by the name of Jezebel, you know heaven might reject that individual.
Yep.
Let me tell you, do you know what Jabez means?
It's not it.
His name
Sorrowful.
means
Sorrowful?
sorrowful. How is it that she said in her pregnancy she was sorry? She felt sorrow, so she would name her son after her sorrow, after her pain in carrying him. Hear me? And God, when Jabez would pray, it said Jabez, even having the name sorry, that it said God can look on what somebody called him by the name sorry. And God would look upon Jabez and he said, but Jabez, in having the name sorry, was more honorable than his brothers. So honor, God would esteem this individual that understood the dynamics of being honored by being called sorry.
Wow.
Watch this. And God would now enlarge his territory. When the territory was enlarged, he made sure even the promise of the enemy not being able to steal his fruit or come and devour his land.
Jesus.
God would make him that because, watch this, he remained humble through being sorry, through being birthed, while his mother would give him a name, sorry or sorrowful. That even in being sorrowful and having that name, tragedies and stuff would come because of the name. I told you, whatever name you give them, spirits follow.
Jesus.
Watch this, please hear me. And God would increase him because he knew how to function. And sorrowfulness, shame, sadness. Mother probably didn't even want him because of the pain. Now when you go back, you find that Rachel, before she died,
Come on, Benjamin.
in her pain, she would name her son, not Benjamin, but Benoni, which means sorrowful. When Jacob would hear it,
Change it to Benjamin.
he said, wait a minute. I understand this pain. I was named Jacob.
Come on. Heaven changed my name.
The heaven had to change it. So when he would look at him, wait a minute. And I hate to say this, but people have to be careful what they name their kids because it could be their death. That was the last time that God would allow her to have kids.
Come on.
Or name a kid. She didn't know how to handle her pain. Then the father would change the name and said, his name will not be Benoni,
Benjamin.
but his name shall be Benjamin, which means the right hand of the father. Would change his name. He cannot live through life with this name. When Jacob would finally have his wrestling match in Genesis chapter 32, they said your name was never Jacob in heaven. But now we give you heaven's name.
Jesus.
The name, see, Jacob had to go through rejection himself. It said his father loved Esau.
Yep.
Never said his father loved Jacob. It said he loved Esau, his first.
What did God say?
He was giving Esau his inheritance.
Oh, come on.
But God made sure he was blind, though he couldn't see.
Come on.
So that the one that he proclaimed, the one that he was professed, the one that he was watched, the one who was rejected, will receive the inheritance.
That was the word of God.
Hear me, he's rejected his entire life by his father. But do you know that his father rejected him, but God will find him.
Come on.
He would find him while he would sleep.
Jesus.
In Genesis chapter 28, he would be asleep upon the rock. And God said, angels will ascend and descend upon the rock. He had found a place where the portal of heaven was open. Angels were ascending and descending in the place where he slept. And he said, and God was over the portal, and God was watching him. And God will come to him and say, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac. God is telling someone who's been rejected, remember, he's a father to the fatherless. He's fatherless now.
Yep.
And here God is saying, I'm ready to be your father.
Jesus.
I'm ready to be your God. I know that you're fatherless. Let me show you my love. Let me show you what I can do through rejection.
Come on.
Yes, because of rejection. Yes, because of that. God said, and then when he woke up, he said, wait a minute. The Lord was in this place.
And I knew it not.
And I knew it not.
Come on.
And after God would watch him for years. You know, Jacob was young then. He was young. It wasn't until 20 years later that God would revisit Jacob.
Jesus.
Yes, 20 years later, God would revisit Jacob, wrestle with him, wrestle, change his name, say, your name will no longer be Jacob, but now Israel. The first time that we see Israel in scripture, it wasn't property. It was property.
But it was a person.
It wasn't a geographical location. It was a man first.
Yep.
Remember when God said, from the dust you came, and from the dust you shall return.
Yep.
When the dust returned, it became land.
Come on.
And God now made it a geographical location.
I got you.
So now he understands through somebody who's rejected, I'm still protecting Israel because my promise was somebody that became land. I'll protect the land. Okay, go ahead.
That was his firstborn son.
That's correct.
That's what he called Israel, his firstborn son. Just speaking about, and I love Jacob, who became Israel, but I love Jacob. But just speaking from that place, talking about the rejection that he had to deal with, what he had to face, it was something that was too generational. Because you find that he only wants to deal with Joseph, and he doesn't see his children in the same light as he does in Joseph. Joseph was the favorite child. Of course, God used Joseph to do great things, but even in that, Joseph even had to experience rejection when it came down to how God transformed his life in order to bring him to the place of the palace, in order to give him the authority, because at first he didn't understand it. He just knew that dad always loved him. But even in that too, is when it came down to Joseph and God started to show Joseph the dreams, he was rejected too by his father. The rejection would constantly come. And so when you look through the life, when you see their lives and you see this rejection, and you touched on it, you talked about it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, when it comes to how fathers reject their children, how fathers will walk away from their children, not understanding that you have the authority, you've been given the authority in the earth to transform and change your child's life. And sometimes it's not just from fathers, it's from mothers too. They'll do the job to get them there, but not in order for them to get to where God desires for them to be. And I think this is something too, this opens a door to, it's still rejection, but it opens the door to a lot of abandonment due to the lack of understanding, feeling not worthy, feeling like you were not good enough in order to do whatever, or to keep and you take on the weight and you carry the weight of your forefathers or your foremothers or your mother or your father because of what they did not have the ability to do. So I think it was amazing how you elaborated and how you expressed everything.
But you know there's a scripture for that.
As well, about when God takes care of the orphans and the widows.
There's another verse. The other verse is, this is when you know you're being elevated. And that's what you have to have the spiritual aptitude to understand how the kingdom moves. It said, when your mother and father forsake you.
You talked about that.
Then will I. So God personalizes your elevation. That means God will come to you, adhere to you, listen to you, and he'll find you. He'll locate you. You're not missing with God. He said, when your mother and father forsake you, he said, then will I. I will personalize me personally. I'll come to you. He said, then will I lift you up. So no matter what state you're in, he said, I will lift you up. When there was a forsaking, when Joseph's mother wasn't there, when his fathers wasn't there, when his brothers wasn't there, it said, God said, then now I will lift you up. So it didn't matter what they did to Joseph. They took his coat but couldn't take his covering.
Jesus.
Yes, you may have taken the coat of many colors, You may have taken the coat that covered me, but you can't take my covering because my covering is God.
Jesus.
You may have wanted to kill me, but my dream is what saved me. They would throw them and be sold by Midianites, which was part of their family, through Abraham.
Yep.
The Midianites would find significance in him when his family didn't. When his family wanted to kill him, it was the Midianites that saved him. There are some people that's outside of Christ that will save you.
That's it. Brought me to Jesus. This is what was taking place when it came down to Jesus on the cross? When he cried out and said that he was forsaken, God had to abide by his word and he had to lift him up. So that brought him into his ascension. Okay.
Brought him straight into the ascension.
Jesus. This is Apostle. Let's talk about this. Because again, as mentioned before, one thing that I desire for the people of God who are tuning in to take from today's broadcast is the true understanding and the revelation behind rejection. And it has been elaborated on, it has been expressed throughout the course of this broadcast. But just even coming to this moment, give us just, because I know that it's there, give us a little bit more clarity to how the enemy will use this rejection to bring you and take you from the place, and we've touched on it, but to take you from the place that God desires for you to be.
Okay. And I'll say this. This is, and I'll use Peter's life as an example. Peter rejected Jesus. And oftentimes, because of trials, situations, circumstances, normally we blame God. And in us blaming God, we reject him. And Peter denied Christ 3 times. So the enemy used that. Used that against his consciousness. So he used condemnation against Peter. So Peter wouldn't even associate himself with the apostles because of some of the decisions that he made.
Jesus.
So the devil used condemnation to condemn him because of the decisions that he made so that he can reject Jesus. Thinking that Jesus would never forgive him, thinking Jesus would never select him, thinking Jesus would never use him again. So he used condemnation. We understand that through Romans chapter 8 and verse 1, there is no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. There's none. So the enemy will condemn you by decisions, but this is not God at all. So people will gravitate to the condemnation and they will step away and they'll reject Jesus. Watch this. But in them rejecting Jesus, when Jesus arose, he said, go and tell my disciples and Peter I live. Tell Peter I haven't forgot about him. Watch this. I never rejected him. When Jesus said, I'll never leave you, nor forsake you. Watch. Your mother and father will, but I won't forsake you. I'll lift you up because what you had to endure and what you had to go through.
Jesus.
Is I'll lift you up. I'll lift you up through the condemning. I won't condone the condemning. I haven't forsaken you, but I've forgiven you.
Jesus.
Yes. So you haven't watched. There's 3 F's in this. Forsaken, forgiven. Yes. And you moving forward.
Oh, okay.
The 3 F's.
Forsaken.
Watch. Let's make another F. You haven't failed.
Jesus.
I'm going to make sure that you move forward because you haven't failed. I haven't forsaken you, but I've forgiven you. You haven't failed.
Jesus. He prayed that Peter's faith didn't fail.
And faith.
Jesus.
The 5 F's. You're thinking F's in school means you fail. But F's in God means you have succeeded.
Jesus.
Yes, I haven't forsaken you. I've forgiven you. Right? You're going to move forward.
Yes, God.
Failure won't stop you because you're moving by faith.
Jesus.
So I'm giving you the 5 F's so the enemy won't make the other F. You a fool. Yes,
I'm not calling them.
Yeah. So I want you to just hear me. Peter thought it was over.
Wow. Okay.
And God said, Peter, do you love me? Peter, do you love me? Peter, do you love me more than these? I know we assumed that it was Jesus' love that canceled out Peter's sin. No, it was Peter's love for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Bible say that can cast out sins? Love covers. We thought it was Jesus' love, but it was Peter's love for Jesus that would remove his sin. Okay, watch this. Jesus would save Peter, but allow Judas to die.
Come on. Come on.
It's a different type of love. He said, look, watch this. And you would think that Jesus was teaching and would tell crowds, if you forsake me or deny me before men, then I'll deny you before my Father.
Yep.
How is it that he didn't get denied but get recognized? Watch what Jesus said in rejection. He said, Peter, feed my sheep.
That's how you know.
Feed my sheep. You mean to tell me this assignment came out of rejection? You would give me all the people that's in the world that's your sheep. You would give me this assignment out of rejection? Out of condemnation? You would have me to feed. You mean to tell me you've elevated me as you? Oh. Let me say this. You know when the Bible said in the book of Luke, I think it's in Luke chapter 22, 31st verse, that Peter would have to go through the same test that Jesus did. Satan had to deal with Jesus. I'm going to say this anyway. I'm trying to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, stay there. So when Jesus, let me tell you how cold God is. Let me tell you how cold God is, right? God is so cold that he sent Jesus to find Satan. He knew where he's located.
In the wilderness.
He knew. He sent, and the Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness to be tempted. You mean to tell me God knew Satan's location, where he was comfortable, because this is the place where he would find rest. Rest is a place of his strength. So God would send Jesus in Satan's location where he was his strongest. Where he had brought civilizations down to nothing. Because this is what he did to the children of wilderness, the children of Israel in the wilderness. So God, if Israel was God's firstborn son, then Jesus was the only begotten son. So one of the firstborn sons fell, so Jesus had to raise up the begotten son. And Satan's way is where strongest is at. So now God sends Jesus in the place of Satan's strength. And now let me deal with you how you dealt with my firstborn son. Deal with my only begotten son. Yes. And he'll deal with you without food, because this is how you trick them with food. Yes. Listen, this is how you trick them.
Man and quail.
With food, yeah.
I got you.
You tricked them with food. So now I have them to go without food. You tricked them with water. You had Moses to fail through water coming out of the rock. So now I make sure Jesus don't have a rock. Yes. Come on. Well, he don't need water. He'll be a camel in this season.
Come on.
Yes. He'll be a camel for the 40 days. Yes. The water that's in him lives.
Okay.
Yeah, out of his belly shall flow rivers of. He don't need water. It's in him.
Okay, you just woke me up. Not say I was sleeping. I'm just saying that just ignited something in me, because it brought me to something that the Lord was expressing me about this particular topic today. But, geez, I want to talk about the woman at the well. I do. I want to talk about the woman at the well.
Rejected.
But exactly, that's why she functioned the way she functioned. But when she met Jesus, she found the living water. But we're gonna talk about that. But I want to get back to the place where you're talking about this and being in that wilderness. A lot of times, is it Deuteronomy 28 or Deuteronomy chapter 8 where it talks about Jesus, where it talks about when God said it was me that suffered you to hunger?
Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 8.
Not understanding sometimes when it seems like you're going through a drought when it seems like that the enemy is gaining on you because he's in his place of rest, because he's in his place of strength. A lot of times we look at that and people will look at it and say, okay, well, God, you don't want me to have nothing. You don't want me to do anything. But that's God literally waging war with the enemy even before the coming of Jesus, even before Jesus was driven out into the wilderness. So that gave me another perspective when it comes to when you go through certain financial hardships or go through seasons where it feels like you don't have anything, where you feel like you're depleted. But it's literally a sign of war when it comes from God to the enemy's camp and letting him know, like, okay, they're going to overcome. They're going to make it. We just have to stay in the fight and we have to endure in those times. That's what brought me to that. But I want to talk about this rejection with that woman in that well.
Okay.
When it came down to her, what elements of rejection did she face that brought her to that place?
6 men.
Jesus. Straight out, 6 men. Okay.
6 men. Jesus said, listen, you have 5 husbands and the one you're sleeping with ain't yours.
Mm-hmm.
She was only selected at night.
Jesus.
But rejected in the light.
Come on. Selected at night, rejected in the night. Selected at night, but rejected in the light. Okay, so light and darkness.
She is rejected by men.
Mm-hmm.
Notice it said, so the one you're sleeping with ain't yours. So anybody she would sleep with, they would become one. Yes, they were rejected because people knew her lifestyle. People knew that she slept with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she was rejected. So when Jesus would meet her, he would be the 7th. He would be the one to complete her cycle. He would be the one to end it.
To make it stop.
He would be the one that would stop the cycle, because if 7 is the number of completion, he had found a place now where he can rest.
Jesus.
Not only that, because of a lifestyle, because the nature of people, the culture of people that she was.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews had no dealing with the Samaritans.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So because of culture and because of the curse of her sleeping with 6 different men that wasn't hers, Jesus showed up.
You said culture. See, it's
culture.
We're going to get into that. Okay, go ahead.
The culture and the curse.
Wow.
When you got the culture and the curse, she ran into the Creator. 3 C's.
C's. We learned about the alphabet today.
Yeah.
It's the alphabet.
The culture, the curse, and here comes the Creator.
Jesus.
That's in the creating all things new.
Mm-hmm.
And gave her a rendition and even revealed his identity.
Jesus.
Who he was. She would talk about Jacob's well.
Come on.
She knew about Jacob's well, but she didn't know anything about Israel. She didn't know that God is real. So if you're talking about Israel, God is real. And she was getting ready to find out that Jesus is real.
Come on.
She knew about Jacob, but she didn't know about Israel. But now she's finding out that God is real.
Jesus.
She was getting ready to have her Israel moment.
Jesus.
Her conversion moment. Yes. She was getting ready to have it through water. And Jesus said, if you know who you was asking.
Come on.
If you know who was asking, you would give this water, and this water you'll never thirst again. And she asked, Lord, wait a minute, give me some of this water. Right?
Jesus.
She would ask, watch this. And for the first time, she would feel accepted.
Come on.
She would feel selected. She no longer cared about the applause of men.
Come on.
Watch this. Jesus, she would drop a water pot. The water pots in those days, and even still now in these times, they don't carry them on their shoulders. They carry the water pots on their heads. And my question is to some people, what have you been carrying in your head?
Come on.
Yes. What have you been carrying to stop you from living because you haven't experienced the living water?
Come on.
Yes.
All right.
You haven't experienced the living waters yet. It wasn't until Jesus gave her water that lived.
Jesus Christ.
You know, water is a source of nutrients to plant life, to grass. Because without water, something dies. Here God is now watering her spirit that was dying.
A dry place.
Watering her soul that was dying.
Jesus.
Here God is now giving her water. Watch, so now when the living water comes,
come on,
depression leaves.
Come on.
Oppression leaves. What she think about herself leaves.
Come on.
Everything now, watch how she comes into a place of humiliation. After humiliation, she comes into a place of humility. Watch this. She runs back into a city.
Come on.
That the same men she slept with.
Come on, y'all, come see.
Now, she didn't go to the women.
Jesus.
She went to the men.
Come on.
She said, come and see a man. Wait a minute. You've been hiding with other men so they didn't see.
Come on.
But now you're saying in the light, come and see a man that told me everything about me. And the men came rushing out of the city because they saw her conversion. And the living water started living. Jesus. It started moving. Jesus. And the living water started affecting those that were dead, because in order to bring a plant back, you have to put water to it. Yeah. Water and light. Photosynthesis. Come on. Yes, you need it. So Jesus was the light and she was the living water.
Come on.
They were bringing, once she gave them the water, the plants had the ability to move.
Come on.
Now back to the source of light. Because wherever plants are, when it comes to photosynthesis, wherever the light is, the plant will go to it. And they didn't realize that once they received the living water, the plants were now going back to the life source.
Come on.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
That's when the drawing took place. That's my testimony, Apostle. That's why I love her. I don't even know the woman, but I love her. I love Jesus. But thank you, Father. That's so fulfilling. It really is fulfilling. I was asking, I told you my prayer was that all who listen today, they'll understand it, they'll receive it. And I believe that that was the answer. It's the living water that we need in order to actually live. A lot of us are functioning from a place of the Dead Sea. We are water, but we're just dead. And now Jesus is extending life this day and giving you what you need in order to allow you to live. It seems like, going back to the identity, when I was doing the things of the world, I felt like I was living. I was going out, I was having fun, I was living this riotous lifestyle, doing all kind of different things, only God knows what, and those that God revealed it to. But I was doing all different types of things because I thought that that was life. I thought that I was living. But the encounters that I would have with Christ would draw me from that. So you talked about the dry place. That's where the enemy goes. That's where the demons are. That's where everything is living, and living its best life is in the places that are dry. But when I would start to receive the living water, it would take me from the place of being dry, and it would fulfill me so much in my soul that I didn't want that lifestyle anymore. That didn't fulfill me anymore. So instead of me looking at it like I was getting something new every weekend or every other day, God started to show me that I was actually doing the same thing. I was in the cycle. So when you go back to this woman, this woman at this well, when you go back to her, you said that Jesus was the seventh man that stopped the cycle. So I had to be that person. It also brings me to the scripture, a just man falls 7 times. I did not know that I was just in the eyesight of God. I did not know what God had spoken about me. I thought I was just doing something that was fulfilling me because I did not understand what true life nor what love was at the time. So it put me in a place of feeling like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing or doing what I seen. And God had greater for me through all. And it started with rejection. My whole walk started with me being rejected. Even I can be honest right now because it really doesn't matter. It started from me being rejected, even in the womb, not being accepted, not believing to be who I was supposed to be for. I was said that I was for somebody else. So I didn't know who I was. And the one that I was looking to validate me to say, okay, this is my child. Like he was when it came down to God, when it came down to Jesus. This is my daughter in whom I well please. I was seeking that my whole life. So I would look for people to validate who I was, to feel like I was accepted, not understanding that I was accepted, but I did not know who had accepted me at the time. But I found out later on, it was the acceptance of Christ. It was the acceptance of heaven, that everything that was inside of me, everything that was looked to be as shame in my life, who I was, how I dressed, how I expressed myself, it was looked at like, okay, that's weird, you different. Somebody even called me psychedelic. Like it was just different things that people would express to me. So that made me conform to the ways of the world because I was looked at as the oddball, because I was looked at as the one that was rejected. Like that's not normal what you're doing. This is what normal is supposed to be. But it's not until I came into the true understanding of Christ that I started to be able to walk in the confidence that he had given me, that he is in my life, to say, okay, well, it's not about what you say. It's about what my Father in heaven has said. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters when it comes to speaking. Even about with you being rejected, is you understanding what rejection really is. The biggest trick of the enemy is to make you think that in this is not what God has said about you. Like you spoke about Peter, it's about you being functioning from a place of condemnation to where you take yourself out where God wants to bring you into. So I just go ahead, Apostle.
Listen, I'm saying this. Most people don't have an idea that's how they were born.
Mm-hmm.
There are three dimensions that took place at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that even though initially we quote unquote say that we come from our parents,
Mm-hmm.
God just uses the parent because the time
Mm-hmm.
and for a season,
Mm-hmm.
he just used the parent to put you in another place that you came from a place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look at the life of John the Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
God made a statement, there was a man sent by God. So if he was sent here by God,
Mm-hmm.
Samson was sent by God.
Mm-hmm.
So we see people in scriptures that were God. Jesus was sent by God.
Mm-hmm.
So these people were sent. They were, watch this, ejected from one dimension, which is heaven, and came into the earth realm. From the heavenly realm now to the earth realm. So he placed us in earth, right? And just to show people that your mother at some point had to reject you.
Come on.
To reject means to push out. Watch this. Because the more we remain in that place, we cause them pain.
Jesus.
We kicked, we punched, we moved. In order to get out, we were causing other people pain because it was time to leave that place.
Jesus.
So them trying to push, which means they had to reject us. They had to force us out. They had to push us out. And it's sometimes you've been in that family so long, you've been at that job so long, you've been in this church so long that God is saying, it's time for you. You're no longer a baby. I developed you in this place. So now it's time for you to leave this place. So now I'm pushing you. I'm going to have you to cause, and the church will cause you pain. Your family will cause you pain. That relationship will cause you pain. The job will cause you pain. It's a sign that ejection is getting ready to take place. You've outgrown that space. In other words, if Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness, and the children of Israel spent 40 years in the wilderness, the number 40 means a time of testing and trials. So a woman, when she is pregnant, she has 40 weeks. After the 40 days, it was over. After the 40 years, it was over. They were forced out. They were rejected. After the 40, everybody was rejected. So when they left Egypt, it was a rejection. You take the children of Israel, them cattle, them kids, it said they thrusted them out. They were forcing them out because they had been there for over 400 years. Now they were being rejected and going into another season. And what I'm saying, that people look at rejection sometimes in a bad place. But rejection is God forcing you out. And what happens is God cut the umbilical cord. It's time for the umbilical cord to be cut.
Come on.
Yes, it's time. Why? Because they forced you out so that God can lead you while you're out. Do you know that babies' eyes are never developed while they're in the womb? It's only when they're out.
Come on.
Could it be you can't see? So Abraham had to leave Lot because he couldn't see.
Come on. He was veiled.
Yes, he had to. If Lot's name means veil, he couldn't see. The second that him and Lot, God forced them to be separated away, when Lot rejected him, he said, now look, God would tell him, now look, you couldn't see before, but now look northward, southward, eastward, westward. God would tell him, now look, you were blinded before, but now you can see. But it took rejection and ejection for you to be able to see.
Jesus.
Yes. It took rejection as a sign of God's selection to give birth to another reality. Could it be that you're trying to stay in a place that God wants you to leave? Could it be that God is trying to eject you, but you think God is rejecting you by trying to eject you out of that circumstance, out of that relationship? Yes, this is the season of ejection and selection. Don't take rejection as a bad thing. Take it as a good thing. God is going to take you somewhere. God is going to use you. God is finna elevate you. God is finna increase you. God is finna give favor to you. He's finna do this, but you cannot get it. Jesus could never have all power. He could never get back to heaven without being rejected by earth. Are you upset because earth rejected you when heaven needs you? Heaven needs you. This is why earth is rejected.
Come on. I thank everyone who tuned in on this afternoon's broadcast. I pray that the Lord expressed something, that something was said in order to increase you, revive you, and get you to the place that He desires for you to be in this season. Remember, rejection is not a bad thing. It's just the ejection and the selection of heaven. Thank you all for tuning in, and we're signing off.